So I'm Jose Reyes. I am the board program manager at WMATA, DC Metro. A little bit about myself. I'm a native Washingtonian, first generation Mexican American here with my family in the nation's capital. And I must say, living here in the nation's capital, the transit has always been a part of my life. Little backstory about me: I have been in customer service since my very first retail job when I was in high school. Then went to the private sector to work for a nonprofit, venture capital, and then ended up at a transit association, which then brought me here at WMATA. Aside from my work with WMATA, I'm also the founder and director of Bailes de mi Tierra, which is a Mexican folk dance group based in Baltimore. We're now in our 16th season, so that's an accomplishment that I'm very proud of. And aside from my professional career, my hobby as a dancer, I'm also a DJ. I've been DJing since the late 80s when rap first came out. And over the years, I've kept playing music at house parties. And then a couple of years back, I decided to get back into actual DJing, and I've been doing that. And I've been able to DJ at house parties, some restaurants, a few weddings, corporate receptions, including the Latinos in Transit reception here in DC last year. And finally, I also, along with everything else, one of the things I do like to do as a hobby is collect transit swag. So behind me, you can see I have a collection of pins. I have about 300 transit pins from around the country and a few from overseas. Sure. As I mentioned a few seconds ago, living in DC, transit has always been a part of my life, getting me to school, to work, and social events. So transit has always been there for me. But I really got involved with transit when I worked for APTA, where I held various positions across multiple departments during my time there. And while at APTA, I was introduced to Latinos in Transit and kind of became an unofficial staff liaison for APTA and Latinos in Transit when I was there. I assisted LIT with their first, I want to say, it was the first networking breakfast that they held. And I want to say that was in Nashville, Tennessee. And then I attended the second one, which was in New York City right before the pandemic. And, being involved with that and seeing from how it started from a small breakfast to the larger breakfast to what you have now, it was just very meaningful to see a room full of peers, people that I can relate to and identify with, was very gratifying. So that's how I got involved in transit and with Latinos in Transit. When I first started in transit, I don't think Latinos in Transit was around when I started in, I started in 2010. So I can't remember exactly what year it was, but I did see very few Latinos around. And if we were spread out in different groups, different conferences, but to have Latinos in Transit where everyone from around the country comes and gathers in one space, it's a fantastic experience to see that. It's definitely a motivator. Being part of LIT for me has been a great experience. I got to, I've met, I've already knew a lot of people when I worked for APTA, but seeing nuestra raza together in one spot really motivated me to continue what I do. You know what I mean? I've been part of the transit industry now going on 14 years, and it's very inspirational to see not only, again, frontline workers, but you see vice presidents, senior vice presidents, CEOs of agencies, and you can aspire to do something like that. But